Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sunday morning front porch story and coffee time. And today's cup is Kindness is Cool, and that's thanks to Rosa a little while ago. Actually, it was for Sister Margaret, but it's a great cup to borrow. So, kindness is cool, everybody. All right, this is a little bit of a long story now today. It's about a German, an Italian, and a Chinese man who arrive at a logging camp, and they're looking for work. So the boss sees the young German and says, "Wow, you look strong and fit. Here's a chainsaw. Go join the fellas and help cut down some trees." Next, he looks at the Italian, a bit of a belly on him and looking well-fed, and says, "You look like you know your way around the kitchen. Go help in the mess tent to help feed the hungry loggers." And lastly, he sees the short, little Chinese man and wonders whatever the heck he's going to do with him. He couldn't lift a chainsaw, and the kitchen is full-staffed. I know, he thinks. Our men are always needing random things like chain oil, fuel, and other items from the storeroom. You, he says, you're in charge of supplies. And then the men head off in their different directions. A week later, the boss decides he's going to check on his new hires, and he takes his truck up the mountain to the loggers. There, he sees the German has fit right in, shimmying up the trees, felling the tops, coming down and bringing down the thickest of the trunks. Next, he goes to the kitchen. And even before he walks in, he's greeted with the smell of delicious sauces, baking loaves, and roasting meats. Inside, the Italian has taken charge, and the entire kitchen is working as a team and putting out mouth-watering dishes. Lastly, he goes looking for the Chinese man. He hadn't seen him with the loggers or around the kitchen, so he goes to the supply room. He walks all around the camp, and he can't find the man anywhere. Perhaps he deserted, or maybe something happened to him. But he decides to check the tiny storeroom before raising an alarm. He pokes his head in, but the room is pitch black. He's about to close the door, but hears a faint noise. "Hello?" he calls out, getting no response. But then again, he hears that faintest noise, a scuffling foot, perhaps. "Is anyone there?" he calls again. This time, he's sure he's heard a giggle. He steps into the room, fumbling in the air for the pull string and trying to put the light on. He finds it and he pulls it down. And just as he's hit with the blinding light, the Chinese man jumps from behind the door and yells, "Supplies!" So, I tell you, languages are a challenge, aren't they? Because it's kind of like some things get lost in translation. So that was a surprise, that big supply. So the guy thought that he was in charge of supplies. So that's a little bit. Actually, today the readings are really chock full of great depth and meaning. And in the multiplication of the loaves and the fishes, we're all familiar with that story. And the most important thing of that story, Carol Hauslander wrote a poem, Philip Speaks, because Philip was the one, "We're tired, send them away." But Jesus' compassion got them going. And the miracle of that is it brought them beyond themselves to help people in need, and that bread multiplied in the hands of the people. And so miracles happen through our hands, okay? And those are the surprises of life. Those are the supplies of life. So keep supplying, everybody. and life will be better for many people. All right, so be attentive this week, today, and have a good week, and be safe and be kind.